Kaneland 302 has spent the last 2 school years preparing staff and students for intruder situations that may take place in school buildings. However, what has been taught can be used in any public place should the need arise. Thousands of hospitals, universities, schools, and government offices have all implemented the ALICE principles. In March of 2018, an administrator from each grade span was sent to an area ALICE implementation seminar. Because of this training, Kaneland students and staff are trained by these individuals. This video is meant to help you understand the options given to you when using the ALICE principles for an intruder or active shooter situation, as well as the reasons that a proactive response is more effective than a passive one. ALICE was developed in 2001 with a focus on a proactive, options-based response to a violent intruder situation. ALICE allows and empowers those affected to use things they have around them, like established infrastructure, technology, and human action to increase survival odds. Over the past 18 years, numerous law enforcement agencies, including local law enforcement, FBI, and Homeland Security, have adopted these principles and assist other agencies in learning and practicing them. ALICE is a proactive approach that allows for options beyond the traditional lockdown. No longer are victims required to sit and wait for help. Each situation is different, and allowing for different options is the most effective means of keeping victims of these types of incidents safe. There is an increase in the odds of survival associated with using the ALICE principles. For example, the Virginia Tech shooting that occurred in April of 2007 had both passive and active responses happening in the classrooms in the hallway in which the event happened. The entire incident occurred in 11 minutes and hurt or killed 55 people. However, in the rooms that engaged in a proactive response, only 5 out of 31 people were hurt or killed. In direct contrast, of the 46 people that were in the rooms that took a passive approach, 41 people were hurt or killed. These were completely opposite of one another. None of the principles of ALICE must be done in a certain order. Complete them as needed and in what order they are needed. The first principle is alert. This initial awareness is based on a PA announcement, hearing gunshots, screaming, or loud noises, a text, or some other sort of emergency notification. Once alerted, determine your best course of action. One possible action is lockdown plus, or an enhanced lockdown. This is the traditional lockdown on steroids, so to speak. The door is still locked and you may hide, but in addition, barricading the door with as many things as possible to keep the intruder out, spreading out in the room with possible counter items or devices, and finding an alternative escape route, like through a window or other door, are also done. Gathering first aid supplies and calling 911 to alert law enforcement of the intruder's location is also important. Inform is when we take as much real-time information as possible and pass it on to those that are affected. PA systems, phone calls, and other communication devices are used in these situations to tell the who, what, where, and how details needed for all people that are immediately impacted. Counter is done when a barricade is breached or unable to occur. This is the last resort and allows victims to take back control and are age appropriate. For example, in the middle school, items are thrown at the intruder to keep their focus on defending themselves while students get away or others subdue the individual. This is not the best choice for the initial alert, but it is an option if needed. Oftentimes, students and parents ask why counter is effective. In this picture, you see what is known as the OODA loop. This is the loop of steps that the brain engages in when trying to acquire a target. Whether in football, baseball, throwing, catching, or shooting, the brain goes through these 4 steps. As anyone that has seen something come at them from the corner of their eye can attest, having items thrown at you alters a state of mind into a defensive mode. Being yelled at, screaming, or any kind of distraction impacts the brain's ability to focus on the task at hand. Even momentary disruptions can save a life. Evacuation is the preferred response. This is the option that should be first on the list if it is safe to do so. Use of the 5 senses can assist in determining the safest option in all situations. If safe, evacuate using the closest exit and proceed to the rally point to let someone know that you're safe. When evacuating, leave everything behind, find the nearest exit, and proceed to that rally point. We hope that this video has given you a better understanding of the Alice principles that are used in Kaneland buildings when an intruder situation occurs. Thank you and stay safe.